Welcome back everybody to another unpopular opinions video. Today this is the Giannis edition, and it's been quite a while since we did one of these. Somehow I hadn't yet gotten to Giannis, but it actually works out perfectly because he went so far this year, the Bucks went so far, and they can still go farther that it seems that there's been more eyes on him and more people have opinions now. It's not just the Euro step and spin highlights that everybody might have been watching all year instead of actually watching him play. So just remember, if you ever want to be a part of one of these unpopular opinion videos or you want a chance to, make sure to follow me on Twitter because that's where I'll always put that's where the bat signal goes out for all your hot takes and opinions. So follow me there, unless you're sensitive, bro. Hold up. People really follow me on Twitter just looking to argue for no damn reason. Like last night after Drake got drunk and did that interview about Toronto winning, I made the simplest comment in the world because you guys know that Drake is very meme worthy, and I was like, if Milwaukee comes back and win this series, that video is going to be a meme. That is all I had to say for Toronto fans to get triggered and come after me and my channel. And I'm like, damn, for real? All you got to do on this side is make an observation and people just, they ready to argue for no damn reason. Then you get the people that come out just left field. Oh my god, Dom, I used to like your videos, but your tweets, I'm so appalled. Like, get the fuck out of here. If you want to have fun, feel free. If you're one of these sensitive ass new age kids that are just looking to argue over every little thing, or one of these actually people that just anything on Twitter can get you into a day-long debate, do not follow me. I'm going to troll you until you unfollow. It's that simple. So that being said, let's have some fun now. Coming in hot already with the free agency takes. This one says that he's going to end up like LeBron. He won't get a true second star and he will leave the Bucks once he realizes it. I think that's probably unpopular because people don't really think Giannis is going to leave, especially like this take came right. This is on the same day that the news came out that he's going to be eligible in the summer of 2021, I believe. He's going to be eligible to sign the most lucrative contract in NBA history, something like $247 million. And I believe it caps out at like $56 million a year. $56 million. Like, what do you even do with that type of money? What is Giannis going to do? Buy his own planet? The man is going to go like buy Mars and then breed a whole generation of Giannis's, people that can play basketball like him and have his frame. I don't know. Anyways, this is an interesting thought because this is something I was kind of going back and forth with people on Twitter last night. I was just more commenting on the shitty luck Milwaukee fans have at the moment, being so close to the finals, and now they're possibly going to lose in a dream season. And so I wasn't saying Giannis was for sure gone, but there was people debating me like there's just no chance Giannis is ever going to leave, and I was just saying like, yo, players can be rich anywhere. You can sign an expensive contract anywhere, the sponsorship brings in a lot of money. For a lot of guys, especially players like Giannis, it's not always the bag that entices them. Sometimes they want a bag and they want to know that they're going to be able to win. They're going to have the best chance to win. Sometimes you have a player like Lillard that's just willing to stay put. Like he's willing to stay put in Portland regardless of what they do. Then you have like an Anthony Davis who's saying, I want to take control of my career, I want to win. People were bringing up the things that Giannis has said though, and to me that's totally irrelevant. Of course he's saying he loves Milwaukee and something along the lines of he never wants to leave, but things like that are irrelevant. Players always say that about the stars anyways. They always say stuff like that about the city that they're playing in. They say they want to be there for their career, and LeBron promised he was never going to leave and that he was going to win a championship for them the first time and then he left. Like players say all types of stuff and then contradict it with a movement later. So this is not impossible. This take right here, this is not impossible. Unpopular because of the Supermax? Yeah, probably. And because the Bucks team is young and they're already this successful? Yeah, it's unpopular. He has a guy like Chris Middleton who is his co-star, but we're talking about a guy that is like Giannis tier. So something like if Kawhi were to go play with LeBron this summer, or how AD wants to play with LeBron, we're talking about Giannis maybe going, this is 2 years away. If Milwaukee hasn't won anything, maybe Giannis playing with another player on his tier. Of course, this isn't really a conversation right now because the way it's going, again, they're within 2 wins of the finals. They could still make it at the time of this recording, and Milwaukee's in a good position. So this is really just a time thing. We have to see where everything goes from this series to the next 2 seasons. Wow, coming in real hot here. This one says he deserves to be unanimous MVP. Woo. Yeah, nah, I'm not rolling there with you. Giannis is my MVP. Definitely, I have him as an MVP this season. I think it's well understood he's going to win it. Unanimous? No. Unanimous is when a player was so head and shoulders above everyone else that you look silly trying to make an argument for another player. Like for instance, the year that Steph won unanimous in 2016, people looked silly trying to talk about Harden and LeBron. Like, that just looked silly. If you watch that season, Steph was the unanimous MVP. LeBron James in 2013, he should have been the unanimous MVP. That was That was totally asinine to have given Carmelo Anthony a vote for any reason. I think that guy just had something against LeBron. But this year, I feel like you can have a good conversation about why James Harden should be the MVP. And yeah, compared to Giannis, pretty much just Harden. I feel like we can have a good conversation, and I wouldn't be mad at you if you're going to throw some votes Harden's way. So for that reason, nah. Giannis isn't unanimous, but he is going to have an MVP already, and he's only, what, like 24 years old? So cheers to that. Will not win chips as a first option. Will not win championships as a first option. I mean, I know the logic behind this, but I disagree. The logic is going to be what we're seeing in the Toronto series right now, because there's just certain times, really important times in games, where it seems Giannis struggles to be effective. And it's because he doesn't really have offensive moves aside from things that can get him into the paint when he's going downhill. If you just give him the ball and he's staring at that wall that Toronto builds with 3 defenders, he really struggles to create something, and that hurts Milwaukee as a team. And in this series, yeah, this has materialized again. Game 1 against the Celtics, back when the Bucks played the Sixers earlier in this season, I always asked about that. I said, I knew that at some point, him not being able to shoot would matter. Even if they make it far and they do really well, at some point it matters that he has a somewhat limited offensive game in terms of creation. That being said, the reason I disagree with this is because, well, it's a couple reasons. First of all, I think he's going to keep improving. He came into this year and his 3-point percentage is trash, but as you can see, he's willing to take them, and sometimes he makes them. He shot pretty well in the Celtics series. He hit a clutch 3-pointer last night. So you leave him open, but I think given his age, I think he's going to add more to his game. He seems like that kind of guy. He seems like that killer. So I think if they are eliminated tomorrow night, I think he's going to go into the offseason. He's going to work with some players, and I think it's a glaring hole in his game. Anybody he would train with would tell him the glaring hole in your game is that when you're just face up with the ball, it's hard for you to create if a defense is going to key in on you the way Toronto's doing right now. So given his age, his potential, his work ethic, how far he's already made it, I really do believe that we're going to see him improve. Like, it's just kind of how LeBron, when he was in the 2007 and the 2011 finals and he was somewhat limited offensively, then he came in 2012 with footwork and post moves. Like, you could even get Giannis some more post moves with his side. I think he has a lot to add to his game that he's going to add, and he will definitely be the first option on a championship team. But even now, like, think about it. They're 2 games away from the finals. Let's say that the Bucks do beat the Raptors and make it to the finals. The Warriors are still favored, but Kevin Durant is not supposed to be playing to start the series, and at this point we don't even have a date. He hasn't started on-court activities. We don't know when he's coming back. I wonder about a team like Golden State that doesn't necessarily have a bunch of big bodies to throw at Giannis the same way Toronto does. Because Toronto has good physical and mobile big men, specifically Ibaka and Pascal Siakam. So they have some options with things they can do in the paint, but let's say the Bucks make the finals, I wonder who the Warriors throw at him and how they keep him out of the paint without KD, because KD's length would be missing. And if the Bucks pull that off, then he will have won a championship as the first option, even with his limited offensive game. So I'm not ready to just shut him out this year and say it's impossible, but yeah, to make it more likely, he's definitely got to add to his game. Let's see here. His name is very easy to pronounce. You know, that is funny because we're in 2019 and he's everywhere now, and I still sometimes have to think about it. Like, I hear some commentators say Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then there's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the only superstar's name in the NBA that I still have to think about it before I say it. He's the best player in the East and will terrorize the East for years, LeBron style. Whoa, those are big shoes to fill. There will be a stretch where he'll lead Milwaukee to the finals at least 3 years in a row. I guess that second part would probably be based off of thinking Kawhi would leave Toronto. Honestly, it's going to be hard for anybody to dominate the East LeBron style unless we have some type of team up, really. Let's be real. For a lot of LeBron's finals runs, he had stars next to him and the team was just so much better than any other team in the East. However, things have kind of changed. The Sixers came up, and I think they'll probably be able to hang on to Jimmy Butler this summer. Who knows what's going on with the Celtics? They're on pause right now. I'm not sure, but from there, it's dependent on what Kawhi does, because right now, I think Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the East. We've been having this conversation on the podcast over the last 2 weeks about best player in the NBA, and it's pretty much come between Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Kawhi. And you have to start splitting hairs up there, but I'm not just saying it because the Raptors are winning the series right now. It gets hard to imagine that Giannis isn't the best player when he's a complete freak of nature, but you can clearly see in this Raptors series, sometimes his game can be very limited. Whereas Kawhi, like, his game is not limited on either side of the floor. The only thing I would say with Kawhi is his playmaking is not up to par. He misses some good passes sometimes. His court vision is not the greatest. But other than that, yeah, if I had to choose right now, I would probably take Kawhi Leonard just because I feel like there's instances where you're going to be able to put Giannis in situations where he's just not successful, and I have not seen the same thing for Kawhi yet. Kawhi is having one of the best playoff runs I've ever witnessed, and he's not even healthy anymore. There's been 2 times this series where he's tried to dunk or something and he's came up limping, so I'm not sure what it is, whether it's a knee or an ankle, but he's on some Kobe shit right now, because this was what Kobe did. Kobe would play, he would go deep into the playoffs and stuff would be hurt, like in 2010, the knee and the finger. Things would be hurt, but he would still be out there leading the Lakers, and Kawhi, he's doing just that right now, and it's one of the most amazing runs I've seen. But as far as a LeBron style run, that totally depends on what happens this summer with the East, and I don't know, I feel like there's too many good teams for that to really be a thing anymore. But with that being said, I anticipate Giannis getting a lot better, so who knows? Maybe that will be a thing, because if he adds outside game, or if he can create and shoot a little bit better, yeah, then it might get really, really hard for anybody to be able to defeat the Bucks. Like, Giannis to me just has a whole nother level he can reach, so he has a lot of success playing for this specific system and would not be in the MVP consideration if he played with mostly non-shooters. But I mean, you can say that for damn near any star. Like, if they're playing in a system that doesn't favor them or is not built to maximize their talents, a lot of people wouldn't. Like, Steph Curry's talents really got maximized when they started using him off ball more instead of like in ISO situations. Once they started running him and having good screeners on the team and things like that, Steph has been able to flourish there. LeBron for a very long time always has a ton of shooters with him. Even back in his Cleveland days when they weren't necessarily really good names, there were still shooters there. The years that Kobe was playing with Chris Mim and Smush Parker and Kwame Brown, even though he would average like 35 points a game, people look back and say, yeah, no, he didn't deserve MVP. And it got much better once he got Pau Gasol, and, you know, they could develop some chemistry and he had more options. That opened up his game more. That's really the job of teams and their GMs, is to tailor a team to the star's needs so that they can be the most successful. So, I mean, technically you're right. Yeah, if Giannis was playing with if he was playing with guys throwing up a bunch of bricks, of course, like, it would be very, very difficult for him to be successful. But I don't know, give any player their worst nightmare as a system and maybe they wouldn't be as successful either. They'd have some numbers, but success, probably not. MVP considerations, probably not. And ooh, let's end this one with only MVP because Kawhi missed 22 games. Wow, that's a dagger. Man throwing shots out here. That's actually interesting because, yeah, Kawhi is not first all-NBA team, and he fell out of the MVP considerations pretty early on because of the, we saw that he was going to continue to rest. That's a really interesting thought. What if Kawhi would have played a full season? We see what he's capable of in the playoffs, and he called the regular season practice too. He didn't he, in an interview? He was like, this is just practice. The playoffs is where I really go off, and he stayed true to that. I wonder though, if he had given us 82 games of great defense, great two-way ball, that would have been a really cool MVP race between him, Harden, and Giannis. I don't know though, because Harden had an amazing season too. He had a historic season, and it's still about to go to Giannis. So I don't think Kawhi's numbers would have been like as eye-popping as a Harden, and I think people would have probably still favored Harden at the second spot. I don't know though. Kawhi would have made it tighter. Well, he was healthy, but a non-resting Kawhi would have definitely made it tighter. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section about that. Is Giannis the de facto MVP? Let me stop starting shit. Giannis is an MVP, man. He deserved it. Kobe challenged him, and his dad died that year, and I believe that was 2 years ago. Kobe challenged him, and it's about to be a 24-year-old MVP. Let's appreciate this guy while he's here. This is like one of those once-in-a-generation type talents, and he's only going to keep getting better. So hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, because I think in another few days I'm going to do another unpopular opinions video. I have a player in mind. So yeah, if you want to be a part of that, link in the description, comment section. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.